Hello, hello, hello. Welcome this show today. You're listening to Red Hot Chilies. My lovely listeners, today you are with your favorite audio station.
Ratnachandran was a very wealthy but avaricious man. He used to lend money at exorbitant rates of interest. He had a great store of cooking vessels made of copper, brass, and bronze, and various kinds of dishes and plates made of gold and silver. He used to rent these out to people who needed them for weddings and parties. Raman had heard about him, and wanted to teach him a lesson. He roped in a friend of his, called Yogaya, to assist him in carrying out his plan. At Raman's request, Yogaya went to Ratnachandran's house one day, and rented from him 12 large brass cooking vessels, saying that he needed them for a party. A few days later he returned to Ratnachandran's house, and handed to him the vessels he had hired, and also 12 smaller vessels similar to them in shape. Ratnachandran was greatly surprised, but Yogaya explained that the vessels he had hired were pregnant at that time, and had given birth to young ones 2 or 3 days later, so he was now returning the children together with the mothers. This fellow is an absolute fool, thought Ratnachandran. How can lifeless vessels give birth to young ones? But he did not want to think further about it, since he was distinctly the gainer. He thanked Yogaya, and the latter returned home. Some days later, Yogaya went to Ratnachandran's house again. He said to him, "Friend, I am in a fix, and I want you to help me. Some of my wife's relations are coming to visit us. They are very rich people who habitually eat from gold plates. We shall lose face if we serve them in inferior plates. Could you, therefore, rent out to me 12 plates of pure gold? I am ready to pay whatever you want." Ratnachandran was delighted. He will bring back my plates as well as 12 smaller ones. That will be a very great gain. Aloud he said, "Yogaya, I will gladly give you 12 gold plates. They are all pregnant now. So when you come back with them, bring also the 12 young ones they will give birth to in 2 or 3 days' time." Sure, replied Yogaya. "If they give birth when they are with me, as the 12 cooking vessels did, I will surely bring the young ones with the mothers." And he went home with the gold plates. Several days passed. Yogaya did not go back to Ratnachandran, who grew more and more anxious as the days passed. After a week or so he went to Yogaya and asked for the gold plates. But Yogaya said, "My friend, a great tragedy has occurred. All the 12 gold plates gave birth to young ones, but all died in childbirth. We have cremated the dead bodies. The ashes have been sprinkled on the waters of the sacred river. I deeply condole with you." Ratnachandran could not contain his anger. He tried to jump upon Yogaya and thrash him. But Yogaya skillfully stepped aside. Ratnachandran complained to the emperor himself, who summoned Yogaya. Yogaya described all that had happened to the emperor. After listening to Yogaya, the emperor said, "Doubtless, if vessels can give birth, they can also die." And he dismissed the case. Ratnachandran returned home, a sadder but wiser man. When he had gone, the emperor asked Yogaya, "Who gave you this clever idea?" Yogaya replied, "Your Majesty, the plan was made by Raman. I only carried out his wishes. He wanted to punish that avaricious fellow." Quite right, said the emperor. He summoned Raman and congratulated him and gave him some rich presents. He also gave some money to Yogaya.